I have to yell because you guys can't really hear me back there.
There you go.
We'd appreciate it if you could please stay quiet because I know it's really hard to hear up here.
Okay.
Last time I was in front of so many people, I started crying. I'll try my best not to cry today. So yeah, Earth Day is April 22nd. If you guys know, today is not April 22nd, but Earth Day is our home and Earth Day should be every day, right? Yeah. Right. So, yeah. Okay. We have a lot of groups. Each group had their own topic, and we hope that by the end of today you'll go back to class with some new things in mind. You know, just to take care of our planet because this is all we got. We don't have Mars yet, right? So yeah. But first, oh yeah, Ms. Vo asked if you guys could please, try not to use your cell phones. Because our students worked hard and just try to have some respect for us, for the work and stuff. But yeah, don't worry, you can, if it's for Snapchat and if you're Snapchatting us, we still ask if you try not to do that.
Pictures that can be taken later.
Yeah, you can take pictures afterward. And yeah, so our first group is Endangered Species. Who here has a dog? All right, just pretend that your dog was endangered. That's kind of sad, right? But, so yeah, just think about it.
You're my
Think
dog.
about it. All right.
Good afternoon, my name is Marlon.
My name is Tyler.
And this is our presentation on endangered species. What are endangered species? Well, species that are endangered are pretty much species that are going extinct. They're on the brink of disappearing, which means we won't have any more of that certain species. One example of this is the great wolf. Around 1980s, there was approximately 300 gray wolves, which was bad because they were the primary consumers, which meant the secondary consumers couldn't consume the producers, or this inevitably would have led to the ecosystem failing. However, the Endangered Act of 1990 was invoked, which meant that the gray wolves were protected, and nowadays there's about 7,000 gray wolves. An example of failure of species going extinct is the Javan tiger. These were prominent in the Indonesian islands. However, after poachers and people were illegally poaching them, killing them for their fur, they went extinct, as well as climate change, but it was primarily humans because humans caused climate change. To go on further, a few reasons why species go endangered, mainly climate change, poaching, illegally hunting them, deforestation, habitat loss, which can all be concluded back to us humans. So primarily humans are the reasons why. Why should we care if species go extinct? One of the reasons is that if they go extinct, we lose diversity, as well as some of the ecosystems will be broken, which means that even although the other species won't die, they will eventually die out because of the other species, since they can't rely on that species. To go on further, my partner will further explain.
So the effects of endangered species to humans. Well, species like bees. Say we didn't have bees in the world, and bees help pollinate other plants. So they make other plants grow. And if we didn't have bees, more plants will die, and we'll have less plants. So the producers will die off, and then the primary consumers will also die off. And so the food chain gets disrupted. And without bees, we'd also have less honey. Continued, polar bears are also an important species because they eat seals. And one thing that causes a major reduction in polar bears is global warming. And polar bears eat seals, so when there's less polar bears, there's more seals. And the seals eat 350,000 pounds of fish a day. So with more seals, there'll be less fish. And it also disrupts the food chain. Because when the fish die off, the seals will die off, and the polar bears. What can we do to help preserve endangered species today? We can learn about them, like what's the causes and effects of endangered species and why they're important. We can protect wildlife habitat and use recyclable and sustainable products. The message to take home is that animal lives matter just as much as humans, if not more, and they should be treated with respect and kindness.
For our demo, we have 3 different types of candies. One are M&Ms, the other ones are Skittles and Sour Patch Kids. Each cup represents one type of species. So let's say the Sour Patch Kids represents the primary consumers. Skittles represent the primary consumers. Sour Patch Kids represent the secondary consumers, and the M&Ms represent the producers. So if let's say I'm a human, well, which I am, I pretty much poach this primary consumer, which means that there won't be any more. So let's say if I eat it. If I eat it, then there won't be any more, which means that the ecosystem is disrupted. So if it's disrupted, then the secondary consumers can't consume the producers, which means they will die off. And so let's say a secondary consumer, let's say it would be a cow, just say to speak. So if we don't have cows, we won't be able to have cow milk anymore. Or let's say if it's a pig, we wouldn't be able to have bacon. So without them, then so we would, as humans, we would lose something. That's the end of our demo.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Michael Lee.
I'm Daphne Robles.
And I'm Valerie Mendoza.
And our PowerPoint presentation is on population. Okay, so when you guys think of population, what do you guys think of the problems? One of the main problems of having an overpopulated Earth is that we have limited resources. Let's say, for instance, we ran out of water, we will all die, obviously. Or if we know, there's many people in the world who don't have food, and it's all due to population. So the origin of the problem, it began when we humans started becoming more intelligent. They started producing technological advances that help us stay alive, and a result of that is a decline in death rate, which means more people in the population, and it takes up more space in the world.
An example of population would be, for example, since there's so many people, like in China, they had to create a law that would only have each couple only have one child, but then they changed that law later on to 2 children per couple, which was enough to replace the mom and the dad. And because of population, it just doesn't affect the natural habitat, but it also affects like species, which is why a lot of species are going out endangeredly, like they're dying out. So that also affects them as well.
So what can we do? We can educate the younger generation with sexual education, with health class or life science. We can promote family planning and do the one-child legislation. And we have to especially use condoms or birth control methods.
Alright guys, so we have a demo for you guys, but we're gonna need 6 volunteers. Edwin, Jenny, yeah, you, sorry, Steven, I see you. 2 more volunteers, you guys will get candy. Alright, we have 6 volunteers now. Man, is it cool if I ask you guys to clear the spot? Gerald, Raymond. Alright, okay, so I will need, sorry. Alright, so can 3 of you, well, after they're done setting up, can you guys split into 3 of you in one group, 2 of you in one group, and then 1 person by themselves? You guys just go
I'm not. I'm recording.
Alright. Okay, so for our demo, the 1 person population will represent, like, let's say for instance, I don't know, like like 1,000 people, I guess, and then the 2 will represent like 1,000,000, and then the other will represent 1 billion. So for the 1,000, Edwin, you stand right here, and then for the 2, could you stay in the middle, and the 3, you guys will go right here. If you guys can scoot over a little bit so they can go up as well. No, like this way. Alright, so in this demo, we will give you guys 15 seconds to eat all the candy. And,
We'll get done in 3.
And you guys will have to finish chewing by the time that the time's up. So don't like shove it down there, you know. Anyways, yeah, you guys can do one down. Eat however you guys want, but you guys will have 15 seconds, and I will tell you when to start.
Okay. Cheater.
No, you guys will eat up as a group. So let's say for 3, you guys will eat together. 2 will eat together, and Edwin, you'll eat by yourself.
I could help.
Is everyone ready? Are you guys ready?
Yes.
You guys ready? 15 seconds is about to start. Alright. 3, 2, 1, go! Eat, go, go, go! Go, go, go! Whoever eats it all first gets a prize. Alright, time's up, time's up, time's up, time's up, time's up.
Can I eat some like?
Alright, then you guys ate super slow. You guys want to try that again? You guys want to try that again? You guys want to try that again? Oh, we don't have time? Alright. Anyways, well, what our demo was supposed to demonstrate was Edwin, which represents 1,000 people, would be eating less than the 2 million, the 1,000,000 people, but, you know, You guys ate kind of slow, but it's okay. And then you three were supposed to eat a lot, but you guys ate kind of slow. But it's okay. You guys are welcome to. You guys are welcome to take the candy with you, and then we'll give you guys some more after.
Well,
So our message to the audience is to use condoms and to use other birth control methods because they're about 90% effective, and no more teen pregnancy.
So we plan to create a pledge, and the pledge says, I pledge to be knowledgeable of all sexual education and to use all resources you have available, because I'm pretty sure you can look up online and just anywhere in school there might be some resources on sexual education as well. And abstinence as well.
And that concludes our presentation.
As a final treat for our presentation, I got some Reese's peanut butter cups. If anyone wants them, I'll be tossing them in a bit, but yeah.
All right, guys, our next presentation is going to be on climate change.
All right, everyone. Can I get your attention, please? We'll give out the candy later. Just, guys, gotta start paying attention. Just like, climate change, Hello, my name is Angel Flores.
I'm Melissa Molina. And I'm Asia Stacy.
Climate change, it's your fault! Alright. Why, you are the problem. Now let's see. Humans have a tendency of overpolluting areas such as lakes, oceans, and coral reefs as well. And we are losing our coral reefs, and we'll get to that later on in the presentation. As well as ocean acidification such as the coral reefs. As well as hazardous waste from pollutant plants such as fossil fuels and nuclear energy. And the way you guys want to end that, you guys can petition, Anyways, deforestation is bad, and ocean depletion is also bad. The effects of your mess. Basically, what I mean by your, I mean everyone as a group here, including myself and my fellow classmates, and the world. Anyways, what I just explained right now, this is the effects of it, which is higher temperature, the changing of landscapes and wildlife habitats, increasing the risk of natural disasters, which is not good. Irma, Harvey, yeah, it's your fault. Endangering species, that's not cool. And deforestation to add CO2 into the atmosphere and the increase in ocean temperature. Be the solution, not the problem. Climate change, hey. This is why you guys are the problem. All right. Consume less. Help limit the power plant pollution. Cleaner energy. All right, thank you. But consume less, help limit the power plant pollution, such as petition them. It's not good, it's pretty bad. Cleaner energy such as solar, wind, and hydroelectric, also geothermal as well. usage of less fertilizers, you know, cow poop is not the best. And I will be giving it to Melissa Molina.
So I have a few case studies for you guys to prove that, well, not really prove, but it shows that climate change is real and it is a problem that's happening in our world today. So one of the effects of climate change is global warming, and global warming, as most of us have studied in our science classes, is when greenhouse gases get trapped in our ozone layer. Since there are two ozone layers, the one that I'm talking about is the troposphere, which, if you guys don't know, it's the atmosphere that's closest to us. And this is caused from our greenhouse gas emissions from like driving cars and anything else that we humans do. And one piece of evidence that I have found that shows the climate change is the average surface temperature change, which it has risen 2 degrees Fahrenheit since the late 19th century. Another case study is the melting ice caps. So with the rising sea levels, it causes many problems, so destruction of habitat. A lot of islands are actually starting to drown, and then that decreases the amount of surface area that we have to live. Also, the melting permafrost. What permafrost is basically it's the ice layer in the Arctic, and when that melts, it actually releases the methane gas and any other harmful gases that are trapped inside. So when the ice melts and this gas is released into the atmosphere, that also increases the pollution in our troposphere. And my last case study is coral reefs. So as many of us have seen, coral reefs are one of the most beautiful habitats, and they're very important for marine life. However, because of carbon dioxide has increased in our atmosphere, when the carbon dioxide dissolves into the ocean water, that increases the acidity in the water, which causes the coral reefs to bleach. Why is this a problem? Not only because coral reefs no longer have their color, besides bleaching, this causes the coral reefs to become brittle, and then they start dying off, and that harms the environment for marine life. So right now we will have a demo to demonstrate the melting ice caps. So
This guy's name is little Percy.
Percy the horse. So our little demo, it demonstrates basically an island that as soon as this ice melts, it will the sea level, which is right here, will increase, which will decrease the amount of surface area in this island. So why are we showing this? Basically, many islands and many countries around the world. One that I can remember off the top of my head is Maldives. It is predicted that by the year 2050, all of the country of Maldives will be underwater because of the rising sea level. So this is what we're kind of demonstrating here, is by the time the ice melts, little Percy here might not have a home anymore. And the water that we're adding reflects the melting ice caps.
So, while there is a lot of things that contribute to climate change, there are some that we can change, like our own consumer effects. One of the things you can do is reduce your consumer waste. So instead of buying things that you know that you're not going to need, that you're just going to throw out, don't get it. Another thing you can do is get reusable items that you can use obviously more than once, like canteens instead of using water bottles, like the plastic water bottles. And another thing you can do is recycle.
Okay? All right, thank you. I'm gonna wait up here.
Alright, hello everybody. My name is Canado Jaime. My name is Michael. And our presentation is on water pollution. So, as you've seen, most of these presentations are about serious problems that our Earth is facing at the moment, such as deforestation, overpopulation, household and industrial wastes, natural disasters, air pollution. However, what our topic and one of the pollutions that we think is a major problem at the moment is water pollution. So, what are the effects of water pollution? It kills organisms. It disrupts natural food chains. It releases toxins that are negative to animals' health as well as our own. It releases diseases such as cholera, typhoid, and so on. So, what is the cause of this problem? How did it start? So, first we must know that germs are small organisms that cause diseases. We all know that, such as, and one of the causes of is malaria. It causes malaria, cholera, which are diseases that lead to diarrhea and many other nasty diseases that sadly kills people. It releases chemicals that poison, and the cause of this could be traced back to the Industrial Revolution with, with industries releasing many chemicals to our waters, to our lakes, to our rivers, and so on. All right, and I'm going to tell you guys one of the main examples of water pollution, and that's ocean dumping. So, what ocean dumping is basically when we put garbage, mostly made of plastics, into the ocean every year. And a fun fact about ocean dumping is that every year we put about 14 billion pounds of garbage into the ocean. So, and according to WaterAid and Globe Water, out of 289,000 children, 5 passed away due to the intake of polluted water. So, and another really good example of water pollution is the water pollution happening right now in India, because the canals and rivers and lakes over there are basically dumping sites, and the untreated sewage in all the lakes and all the water is due to the lack of good electricity supplies. And what's really bad about it too is that since India is like kind of a poor country, a lot of the people over there had to wash like their clothes, had to wash their dishes, like in all the polluted water, like this person is right here. So, there are many types of water pollution because it comes from many sources. So it's great to know that there are many reasons, many sources why we have water pollution, such as nutrient pollution, surface water pollution, oxygen depletion, groundwater pollution, as well as microbiological, suspended matter, chemical water pollution, and oil spillage. Okay, so a solution. What can be done to prevent more water pollution or to contribute to water pollution? How can we reduce water pollution? One of the main things you can start doing is not disposing of household chemicals or any other cleaning agents down the sink or toilet. Another could be to practice the responsible use of fertilizers. And
herbicides, and pesticides. Another solution could be to check your faucets, check the water hose. Make sure you don't leave it running. Make sure do not leave them running when you're washing dishes, when you're washing the cars, when you're gardening your plants or whatever. Another thing is to realize that there are organizations that are out there to help stop the pollution of water, such as the WWF, which stands for the World Wildlife Fund, Global Water Challenge, PepsiCo, the Environmental Protection Agency, and the Nature Conservancy. Another solution would be to begin to ask yourself these 3 questions. Number 1, what are the effects of polluted water? Number 2, what can I do to solve polluted water, the water pollution problem? And number 3, is this problem merely a symptom of a larger one? Because we've all heard, okay, let's stop water pollution, let's do this, let's do that, and people do it. However, we're still facing this problem with water pollution. So, is this problem merely just a symptom of a larger problem? And so these are our sources. However, we do have a demo. You know this? We all love water. We all need water. I have 2 cups here filled with water. Clear and clean. Drinkable. Now, we're gonna leave this one to the side. Hopefully, I'm gonna move this really quick. Put it over here. Now, we've all gone to lakes, we've all gone to places where you can have fun, you know, take a dip in the water. However, there's always that one kid who grabs the dirt, who decides, hey, I like throwing stuff at people. Let me get some dirt. Let's dump it in the water. There's people who eat and say, hey, nobody's looking. Might as well dump this in the water. Sometimes we can't find the bucket, or we can't find the trash can in the toilet, or while we're, in the toilet. So we decide to throw it in there. Some of us don't even care what we throw in there. Sometimes you might be having, your parents tell you, hey, I want you to do this, I want you to do that. We dump everything in the water not knowing what it is. Sometimes industries, companies, they have leakages of oil. They dump it in there. Now, one of the mistakes that I did was not bring something to mix this. Where is this? However, this is what we're causing, guys. Would you drink this?
Would you want to swim in that?
What about this? Now, one of the things is, you guys can possibly be telling yourself or asking me, Renato, but don't we already clean water? And the answer is yes. However, it takes too long, it is very expensive, and why would we have to pollute water? Why would we have to do that when we can just take care of the water to begin with? Water is life, and we need water. So if we need it so much, then why are we destroying it? Why are we just making it our own personal trash? Please, conserve and use water properly.
Okay, hi guys, my name is Diane.
My name is Griselda.
My name is Karina. And our presentation is on air pollution.
What is air pollution? It's a substance that has harmful or poisonous effects
Air pollution not only affects our environment, but also affects us humans, health-wise and economically. Many causes that air pollution does to our health is it creates problems such as lung cancer, heart disease, asthma, respiratory diseases, and it affects us. Not only that, but in addition, it creates environmental problems such as acid rain, depletion of the ozone layer, and effects on wildlife.
Okay, so the origin of this problem is that it consists of factories and industries, indoor air pollution, mining operation, and agriculture activities, and burning of fossil fuels. However, the burning of fossil fuels consists of all the vehicles that we use every day, but how we overuse them so much that leads to leaving out dangerous gases and polluting our environment.
Okay, so here I have two examples or cases that air pollution is existent, and one of them is the ozone hole and the downwinders. So the first one is the ozone hole. So there's a concern in the deterioration of the ozone due to the release of chemicals such as chlorine and bromine. This results in large amounts of ultraviolet B rays to reach Earth, and CFCs, which are chlorofluorocarbons, are mainly responsible for man-made chemical ozone depletion, which can lead to the destruction of the ozone molecule and will eventually turn into oxygen. And then the downwinders. Around the 1950s, the US decided to conduct nuclear weapon tests in Nevada, more specifically southern Nevada. And so what that did was it sent invisible radioactive particles to the atmosphere, which then traveled to Idaho, Utah, Arizona, Washington, which are considered the downwind area from this test site. And because of this, later, like decades later, when people were situated into these areas, they found that people living in these areas were at a like above normal rate to actually get cancer than the rest of the people in like other areas.
A message we have for everyone is shield the earth and shield yourself from air pollution. Air pollution, we may not think it affects us, but the many pollutants that are in the air are because of man-made products. And we have many ways in which we can help solve the problem. Some ways to reduce air pollution are a big part of the problem is transportation. So if you want to go out somewhere with friends, it would be best to carpool instead of all just taking your own separate ways, because the smog from the vehicles do affect and provide a lot to air pollution. In addition, it would be to use the reduce, reuse, and recycle method. And also, it would be helpful if we created more hydroelectric things to create energy. And now, we're going to show you guys a demo that we have.
So we decided to do a little project at home, which involves a way in we can see like the levels of air pollution in our like home, outside our backyard, or any location. So what we need is a jar, a smaller little container that you can place inside the jar, and petroleum jelly or Vaseline. So basically you fill in the little container on the inside with Vaseline and place it in a jar. And what you can do with this is place it anywhere. What we chose was, where did you place it? We placed it inside the house, and you can't really see because I think it takes like around, I say like a week. There's like slight, it's towards the bottom, you're not gonna see, but there's slightly like smoggy. And then we also placed one outside the house and inside as well, because we tried different methods. And basically this is just to see the levels of air pollution. I think you guys, this is a good thing to do at home, just so you're more aware of what you're breathing in, because it's important to know what's going in your body, because your body is a temple, so you should treat it that way. And what concerns your body, you should also be concerned of what you're putting out there. And that concludes our presentation.
This is the old one.
Some technical difficulties. Hello everyone, can I get your attention please? How is everyone doing today? Good? Yeah. My name is Gerald.
My name is Raymond Golan. And my name is Ralph Padilla Cruz.
And we are proud to present to you land uses in a nutshell. What is land uses? I'm gonna have Ralph do.
So you guys are wondering what do we mean by land uses? We're going to be talking about how today land is being used, what the problems with it, and how should we really be using it. Okay, so what are some of the problems with land uses? All right, one of them are deforestation. Okay, now some of the causes of deforestation is poor forest management, as in some person can be walking along, smoking a cigarette, and then randomly throw it on the ground, then burn the whole forest down. That's pretty poor forest management. And then the other one is importation of timber, which basically means we sell timber so that we can build stuff. That's basically it. So, why does this matter? Because we're destroying the earth by doing it. Now, some of the solutions to this include greener methods of using products, such as, just making sure that you fix everything. I'm sorry.
So, what does he mean by green methods of using products? Basically, using eco-friendly products or anything that? That's what you meant. Second one.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Pretty basic. Okay, second one's agriculture. This one's a big one when it comes to land uses. Now, agriculture is caused by increased population, which is why we have more of it. Increased population pretty much because we keep growing in population every single year worldwide. And also, businesses use agriculture for a lot of cash crops, such as selling cotton and tobacco to other countries. Now, we should care about this because over 40% of the entire world's land is just used for agriculture. That's a really big number. And it keeps increasing like that because the population keeps increasing every year and we need more food to provide to everyone. So we need to be able to stabilize the population growth, and we need alternate ways for businesses to make money besides just selling cash crops. Now, our last problem is wildfires. Now, wildfires, pretty much the basic causes would either be by humans or Mother Nature. Mother Nature by lightning strikes, humans by throwing cigarettes on the floor. Okay. Now, why should we specifically care about this one? Because it's an accident, but it's not. Businesses burn forests down on purpose sometimes so that they can use that land for whatever they want. Now, in order to solve this, we need better land use planning so that that doesn't happen, and we need safety monitoring. All right, now, there is actually one solution to all of these, and we can solve it just like that.
Real world events, some case studies that we can see that's happening today or even a long time ago that we can get example from. What's happened in Madagascar is that there are, we use the forests in Madagascar and we use those for housing. So that's what some things that we do for those forests and those trees. And it's what we need to take something from it is that the way that we use our land. What's happening in Colorado, is that fires. Colorado, they use their land for tourism and ranching, and that's how they get their money from. But what's happening is that fires are being, like Raymond has mentioned, fires develop, and during these fires, all these lands and all of these things are being burned, and it's really, really not that good.
Okay, everyone. Now, in order to solve all the problems, just do it! We gotta do it for something you believe in. Now, the environment can't do it alone. Help save the environment. If you can't do it for yourself, do it for the animals. We have to share the earth with everyone, big and small. So guys, let's share. Sharing is caring. Kamal said that. You don't know what that is? He said that.
Okay, really quickly here, a couple things. Let's give Ms. Vo and the environmental science students a hand. Maybe we'll do that. We are going to dismiss to lunch. There are a few more presentations, so if you'd like to stay here towards the front, they're going to continue on with a few of the presentations that the students have, but the rest of the students, student staff, you may go to lunch also at this time.
We're not done yet. We're not done yet.
We're not done yet.
It's recording. Alright, you hear it quick? Alright. Hi, I'm Lake. I'm Michael. I'm Sal. Hello. And our presentation is on agriculture and pesticides. So the problem with pesticides. So pesticides are toxic, so meaning that they're poisonous to human health in general. This leads to, sometimes pesticides can leak into our water system or food systems, and that leads it to contaminations. And this could lead to a load of side effects. So a worst case scenario, worst case scenario leads to death, and sometimes it leads to deformities in health, or like heart cancer or lung cancer.
So what are pesticides used for? Well, there's many pesticides in the world, and you can find almost any pesticides for anything. But I named some. Algicides are basically slow down or kill the growth of algae. Then we got fungicides, which basically kills fungi, like for instance mold, mildew, or rust. Then we got herbicides, which basically kill unwanted plants, for instance weeds that take away the nutrients from the crop or the plant you want to grow. Then we got rodenticides, which basically kill all the rodents that carry diseases like rats, mice, gophers, and etc. And there's, like I said in the beginning, there's many more pesticides in the world that for almost anything.
Okay, so an example of global pesticide issues. During the Vietnam War, the American government was struggling, trying to find a way to keep resources out of the hands of the Viet Cong and the North Vietnamese army. So what they started doing was using Agent Orange, which was a pesticide, to destroy crops, destroy trees, destroy traveling lanes. But it didn't. The effects of this are still present to this day. The people of Vietnam continue to have health issues in areas that are contaminated by the gas or the pesticide, and it wasn't worth it. Definitely wasn't worth it.
So our solution, we came up with a bunch of solutions which do not involve pesticides. For instance, we got crop rotation, which is basically like you plant a crop and then you take out the crop and you put another plant in there, so all the nutrients left behind from the original can be taken up by the second one. We got polyculture, which is basically planting multiple crops in the same area. We got trap crops, which basically you have the crop you want to grow and you basically plant a decoy, so all the rodents and everything that will go to the decoy instead of the original one. Then, the simple ones just reduce the use of, chemical pesticides. That's the best solution we can do, and not overuse them where it's not necessary, so they won't do the damage to the plants and or humans.
And a message that we want to leave everyone is that I love my family and the environment more than my lawn, because personal health is higher up in priority than material goods.
Do you want us to do the questions? Alright, so we have 3 questions for you. One question is, what is one way we can save agriculture without using pesticides?
Crop rotation.
Alright. Yeah,
Crop
right.
rotation, yes. Perfect. Our second question is, name health effects caused by the runoff of pesticides.
Contaminated water.
Yeah. Great. Good job. Our third question is, are there any visual differences between an item that has been infected with pesticide and one that has not? Do you guys think there's a visual difference?
No.
Alright, and now we're gonna show you our demo.
Yeah.
Just hold one over the next thing.
Okay, so here we have 2 apples. We didn't tell Michael, but we injected pesticide into one of them. He doesn't know which one it is, but we're just gonna,
Injected or sprayed?
Well, we
Either
actually
or.
injected
Both.
it because he has some pesticide because his dad works in landscaping. So we got a needle, a syringe, put some in there, and we're just, we can't tell the difference between what's been affected by pesticide and what's not been. So I'm just gonna ask Michael to take a bite out of one, and if he's still, breathing in 5 minutes, so he got the right one, right?
Well, I'm not gonna do that. Well, basically, this is to show that there's literally no difference. You can't tell which one has pesticides or which one doesn't. So, would you want to risk it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is just like for when you go to the store and when you go buy produce, you never know where it's been. You don't know if the people who produce these crops, this produce,
You don't know what their techniques are, their methods, so you never really know what you're putting inside of your body. And that's why it's important to always know where your food comes from.
And that's the end of our presentation.
My name is Timmy.
My name is Ismail.
And our Earth Day Blue project is about is about energy. So there's many forms of energy, but we have two main sources, and those are renewable and non-renewable sources. So non-renewable sources are sources that can't be replenished, and some examples are oil, natural gas, and coal. And our renewable sources come from things that are natural and can replenish over time. So examples are solar energy, wind energy, tidal, and geothermal. The cause of this problem. So the main cause of this problem is that most of us rely heavily on non-renewable sources. So we rely on things such as gas and oil and fossil fuels. So that in addition causes us to run out on sources that will cause us to use sources that will run out eventually, and then we won't have any more of those sources. So yeah.
What are some solutions to this problem? Well, what we can do is basically conserve energy by just doing like basic things like turning off the light when you leave the room, and invest towards renewable sources of energy.
Yeah, so many of us don't rely on, or we don't have renewable sources because like the initial price to set things up, such as like solar panels, is pretty expensive. But I mean, in the end, in the long run, it'll save you more money, and you won't run out of that resource because it's generated by the sun. Okay, so some home solutions. We have pictures just to kind of show. The first one is, carpooling. You're saving more gas. You won't have to like pay more for gas, and we won't run out of that resource. Same thing for the bottom picture. You use less gas. Low flow shower heads. So low flow shower heads, it's just basically like a normal shower head, but it kind of reduces the amount of water that comes out, so you're saving more water, which saves more energy because of your thermal heater, which produces energy. And it's just some basic other tips like turn off the lights when you're not in the room, unplug things,
and the 3 R's, which is reuse, reduce, and recycle. Our message to you guys to take home is turn off the lights when you're not using them. Here, this is one of the cases of energy uses, and it's the switch. I mean, because back in the days, like hundreds, we used to rely on oil and like kerosene and basically fossil fuels, but now we've evolved into green energy.
And those are our references. Yeah, so I'm going to show you guys a visual representation of like how doing such a little thing can save you so much money and energy. So this light bulb comes from this one, and it's 60 watts. So let's put this down. And then this light bulb is only 40 watts. So you can already tell they both look like regular light bulbs, but this one's already saving 20 watts. And in addition, when you use a LED light bulb, it uses about 25 times less amount of energy than a regular light bulb. And you can save up to almost $100 every year just by switching the light bulb. And yeah, that's it.